Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome to Daily's 2A News. Today we're going to talk about how the City of Fresno in the state of California has declared a state of emergency, which they say gives them the power to ban the sale of firearms and ammunition. So let's talk about it. Now, I made a video about this just yesterday, as a matter of fact, as a broad topic, talking about how nationally there could be some type of suspension or regulation on the Second Amendment. And I also kind of touched on cities and counties as well, kind of regulating the Second Amendment as part of their states of emergency. So here is one example that I want to give you guys today. We have Fresno, which is a city in the state of California. And as part of their emergency plan, one of the first things that they would do is restrict your Second Amendment rights. Now, we talked about how even in a state of emergency, you cannot supersede the Constitution. The Constitution is still the law of the land, and the government is still supposed to work around that. You can't simply single out the Second Amendment or a protected right just because you're in a state of emergency. If people's free speech was, let's say, stopped or shut, then I think a lot of people would be up in arms. But when it comes to the Second Amendment, for some reason, they feel like that's okay. We can go ahead and add that as if it's a second-class right. So let me go ahead and read to you what the state of emergency means for the city of Fresno in California. This is something that they put out as part of their emergency plan. So it says the city of Fresno has now declared a state of emergency, and doing so grants the citywide ranging powers under its emergency service ordinances. Or services ordinance. So we have a full copy here. Number one, okay, suspend the sale of firearms and ammunition. That's number one on their list. The first thing that they want to do on their list is suspend the sale of firearms and ammunition. So obviously, right off the bat, this is something that they've had some type of predetermined notion about. We know that California and a lot of other cities and states across the country simply hate the Second Amendment and wish it was gone. And this is their opportunity to simply jump on a national tragedy again and try and restrict you of your rights. So the first thing they want to do is restrict your Second Amendment rights. The second one is suspend the sale of alcohol. Number three, order a general curfew. Number four, order the closing of all taverns. Number five, order a price or rate freeze on consumer goods and on hotels if lodging is limited. Number seven, order a halt on gasoline sales except as fuel pumped into vehicle gasoline tanks. And lastly, number eight, order the closing of any business where crowds tend to gather, including theaters, amusement areas, gyms, stadiums, etc. So let's go ahead and think about this. Okay, so all of this is caused by a virus. There's a virus going around. People want social distancing. Even though a majority of the people that get this are just going to get sick and be just fine, what they're trying to do is they're trying to stop the spread of it to those people that would be more susceptible. So if we could all kind of stay away from each other and wash our hands, do the basic thing, then obviously we can slow the spread, and those people that might be at risk have a lesser chance of actually getting it. So let's think about this. Suspending the sale of firearms and ammo, how is that going to help? Well, here's the thing. It's not going to help that at all. It's not going to help the main problem at all. It's not going to do anything for the people. So here's what's going to happen. You have a group of people who are willing to use these things or these tools to commit crimes, right? These people are going to be running out of food. They're going to be running out of water. They're going to be running out of the basic necessities. And these bad people are going to want to take it from who? The good people, the people that follow laws. So while the good people are not able to get firearms and ammunition, the bad people that already have them or are willing to steal them are going to be the only ones that are going to be on the top of this table. So again, what they're doing by suspending ammunition and firearm sales is they are hurting the good guy, the guy who is just simply trying to protect the things that he has for his family to survive. So again, you know, you have your stuff, right? You got a family. I have a family of 5 myself. I have things I've been preparing for a long time. And so I want to make sure that I protect those things from people who might want to come take them from me, and then now I have nothing for my 3 children. That is my main concern. So I want a way to be able to protect myself. Obviously, you know, having the right tool is a good way to do that. So what you're doing is you're telling people out there that the best way to protect yourself from this virus and essentially, you know, this pandemic is to disarm. Either disarm or don't be able to get anything new, or if you don't have anything at all, you're not going to be able to go out and get your first. So that's one of their main focuses here, is to make sure that you don't have a way to defend yourself or protect the things that you have for your family. That's incredible to me that that's number one on their list. How this has anything to do with the current state of emergency is just beyond me. And then again, suspend the sale of alcohol as number 2. That's one I don't get. Do we know that alcohol is somehow negatively affecting the current state of things? No, not at all. Suspending the sale of alcohol is completely ridiculous. Now, I know the state of emergency is supposed to be like an all-encompassing thing. It's not generally written for this specific problem, but it's a more general and broad issue that a state of emergency is supposed to address. But still, the sale of alcohol, I mean, what are we talking? Are we talking prohibition here, guys? Have you guys not touched your state of emergency plan for that long? So that's kind of what's going on. Order a general curfew. I'm keeping people inside after dark. This thing doesn't go away after dark. You know, it's there during the day too. So what would putting a curfew on anything have to do with anything? Just telling people you can't go out after 6 p.m. isn't going to do anything at all. So you can see that a lot of this has absolutely nothing to do with the current state of things. There's a few things in here, like maybe closing all taverns where large people gather, or other businesses where crowds tend to gather, or if you were to stop price increases, gouging, and stuff like that from hotels. If people need to leave their home, maybe there's somebody there who needs to self-quarantine and you want to get away from that, or something else, whatever reason there is. You don't want to go to a hotel that's typically, let's say, $50 a night, and then you get there and it's $650 a night because, there's limited availability in the rooms, and so they're gouging everybody. So I can understand that one. I can understand large crowds. I can understand that. But having number one and number two be alcohol, ammo, and firearms, you have got to be kidding. But this is nothing new. This exists in a lot of the state of emergency plans, both nationally and locally. So cities, counties, states, countries have emergency plans that involve taking your Second Amendment rights away. So the video that I made yesterday talking about how, your Second Amendment rights still exist even if the Constitution didn't, that holds up. Because you can see right now, this is what they're trying to do. So it's best to stay on top of things, understand the state of emergency plans that your city or your state has, and get on top of these things before they actually come down, and know what's going to happen should one of these be declared in your area. Anyway, I just want to let you guys know what's going on. It's not just happening in Fresno, it's happening in other cities across the country. This is just their dream to be able to suspend the Second Amendment for the time being, and probably as long as they can, as long as the state of emergency exists. So they'll probably drag that out as long as they can too. So anyway, I want to thank you all again very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and have a great day.